Okay, here's Michelle Obama. I just gave her about 10 minutes, I think, of round penning. Went and put her halter on. Yeah, I'm just clicking my fingers there and getting her to face up at this stage. There you go, you suit up. Hey, you're suspicious. Hey, you're suspicious. So she got herself in a bit of a state, but I didn't put too much pressure on her that she would think about jumping out or anything. You know, she can see her mate through the rails. It's all just a big drama. She's just so high adrenaline. And these racehorses are just especially, you know, when they're two. And it doesn't matter whether they're colts or fillies. So we're just doing friendly stuff now, scratching, and she's got lots of little ticky ticks, and I'm finding an itchy spot and giving her a good scratch. And I'm also walking out from her like this and then coming in and approaching her. You can see she's afraid of nothing. She's a rat bag. She'll chew anything, pick anything up. She's one of those minds that just doesn't settle down. But anyway, you know, she stood and let me put the holder on. I haven't cornered her and, you know, really put her fear thing out happening. So I'm just going to throw her back out in a circle. Come on, baby. Doesn't take much to get her going, this horse. She's not cantering around like she was, and she's stopping. We've got the licking and chewing happening with the mouth, which is good, which tells me the brain's working, the head is dropping. Now, as soon as that head drops like that, I know that the adrenaline's come down, and now I can start to do some work with her, because it's a waste of time, me trying to do work with a horse with its head up in the air and its eyes goggling out. So let's have a look at the eye now, blinking, thinking, big breaths, and she's submissive when she's putting her head down like that. She's saying to me, oh yep, I accept you. I can click my fingers like that, and boy, she comes to attention real quick. So I'm just walking in, giving her a rub, reassuring her that I'm not here to kill her or eat her, and that's my job today, is to gain trust, because when she worries that I'm going to eat her. Yes. Okay, she's got a little bit worried about something. I'll just send her off. And she's not going far before she's sort of indicating to me, oh, I want to come in. Now, it can be a mistake to let them come in early, and I'm walking around and she's facing up. And she'll get this treatment every morning for the next week, or however long it takes me to get her good to catch. So this is how you teach a horse to be good to catch. In other words, when it walks off, you make that your idea. So she becomes to accept me walking in from a distance, that I can walk in, and she feels relief, so she doesn't have to move her feet. She's not feeling that I'm intimidating her enough. When a horse is intimidated, it has to move its feet. That's the reason for round penning. She's also got that rope, as you can see. I've just left it dangling around her neck. This is something I do very early on in the process, and I've done this before with her, to make sure that if anything happens and she did get away and she was dragging that rope, she wouldn't go careering off at a mad gallop across the field, scared to death of that rope snaking beside her, and run through fences until she hits the main road, or something like that. So she's used to that rope dragging, and she's used to dragging the rope, and used to have it thrown all over her. So she's remembering the lessons that I taught her when she was a foal, and it's nice that I've handled her as a foal. But you know, I don't assume that she remembers any of it. She may have forgotten. So here, this exercises, I'm just walking in and rubbing her, reassuring her, and walking out again. And if she wants to follow me, that's fine too. But what her whole fear is at the moment is my approach. She fears me approaching her. So I'm getting her through that fear. And even though she looks really cool, you know, one click, watch this. Ooh, she's ready to go at one click. So I want to desensitize that too. I don't want her too sensitive. I want to hop off your rope, babe. There you go. So now I'm going to just drop that rope like that. And she can sniff that rope, and she can drag it, and she can learn to walk around it. And all of this hopefully is enjoyable enough for her that she wants to come in tomorrow. That she's happy for me to catch her tomorrow, because I can do too much on the first day, and then boy, she looks at me tomorrow. Now if I went tomorrow and she ran off with her head in the air, trotting wildly around the paddock, and took me half an hour to get in, I'd know that I've either pushed her too far or I've blown it. Tomorrow when I call her, she should be saying, hey, there's my mate, let's go. And although it seems traumatic in here sometimes, I gauge my success by how easy my horse is to catch the next day. And I like her with her head down. I want to encourage her to keep her head low. I don't want to encourage too much adrenaline. That's easy to switch on, the adrenaline. What's difficult is to switch it off. Now I've got to break this horse in, which is a term I don't like using. I've got to break this horse in, and I don't particularly want a high adrenaline horse. I know she sparks up easy enough. My job is to keep her thinking. And hopefully, when we get her to the races, she hasn't stressed herself out. Look at her, so she's getting ADHD, chewing the rails now. Isn't she beautiful? Alright, I'm going to go and brush her up and make her look like someone loves her. She's bored already. That's a nice cut of a horse. I really like her, and the best thing about this horse is the way she moves. She's very balanced. Trim her little feet up a bit because she's got some, over the winter she's got a bit of a nasty down here. I'm going to trim that part of her hoof off. So we've got to do some picking up feet exercises before I do that. I'm not going to assume that she remembers anything that I taught her last time. That's a big mistake. It was probably last February, March that I handled this horse. So you can see her feet definitely needing a trim up. You can see the mane looking like a wild child. She's got ticks. She'll get a worm drench. And she's going to get a tying up lesson today too. So that won't be too much and too horrible for her. And her and Horace are probably a bit over being in the yard, so won't spend too long with them here. It's really hot and they can go back in their paddock. Okay. Here she is, Michelle Obama, getting bored. So every time she tries to paw like that, I'm just going to click my fingers or make it a little bit uncomfortable for her. Now you can see that I've trimmed up her bridle path there, and I've got rid of all these big knots. I'm going to show you this, what I use, how I do it. Now I found this massive big nest of ticks in here, so I've put rollies in, and I've been in there and I've been scratching and getting all the ticks out. Poor baby, eh? She's got a big nest of ticks in here, so I've been giving her a good scratch, and oh look, she just loves that. So even though ticks are disgusting, you can use them to your advantage. Find that little spot. They're horrible blooming things. So I just get in there with my hands and scratch all the way through, and then I can feel them. Some of them are just like that big, no kidding. But it's a good thing for her because she feels the pleasure. I've trimmed her up. She's looking a lot better, a lot less like a racehorse. Now I'm not going to do that mane all in one hit, and I don't pull manes. I'm really against it. It's a nasty thing to do. So what I use, here's my kit over here. I'll show you my kit. Bit of a rag there, cotton rag. Watch this. Cut it out, you bad horse. So when that pouring starts, I'll just slap my leg or click my fingers. Not enough to make you pull back, but just to let her know that's not acceptable. She's just bored now. Okay, so back to the kit. Here's some Rawleys. Best stuff. Brilliant stuff. It's a salve. Stays on. Hey! Boy, crikey. Bad horse. Okay, so that's my salve. WD-40. Everybody's got to have some of that. It's good for your tools. Now here is my main rake, I call it. It's an old shearing comb, so it's not too sharp. And how it works is like this. First of all, anything that I'm going to do to the horse, I introduce to the horse. So I will show the horse it. Really careful because those prongs are a little bit sharp. I want her to sniff it. Smell of it. I never walk up and just use something on a horse without letting her sniff it first. And then we just pull that down through like that, out from the mane so we don't jag into the neck because it will pierce her neck, make her bleed when I get to the bottom. Okay. Come across any knots and that just naturally pulls the mane. Can't give you a real good demonstration because I'm one-handed. That's it. Well, just a hunk of wood like that. Okay, so that's how I trim up the mane, because cutting the mane is a no-no. Alright, here's my bits and pieces. That's a really good mane brush. It's a normal old hairbrush. It's a really good, best I've ever found. Okay, we always need one of those. Clean if possible. You know, got all sorts of things. Pair of scissors, water bottle. Now I can put some stuff in there or whatever I need. A pair of pliers with some wire cutters on them. You just never know when you need those. Okay, that's another really good mane brush. A normal hair brushes that you buy at the supermarket. I go through a few of them, but they're really good, easy to use. Screwdriver. Stuff on my gear if it's nasty. Sunblock, especially for horses that have got white noses. And there's a bot knife, gets the body eggs off. A couple of these should be wrapped up in that rag, they shouldn't be floating around in there. Some soap in the bottom there, some bits and pieces of rag. Another one. So these, I like to keep them wrapped up so they don't spike me. Good old dandy brushes, a couple of them. I've had that one since I was about, I think I've had this one since I was maybe 10. Yeah, it's been with me a long time, that baby. I've got one really soft one and one a bit harder. So she's had a bit of a brush today. I'm going to trim up her hooves in a minute. I'm pretty happy with how she is. She's settled right down. And she can go out into the paddock shortly. She's getting bored, but hey, she's got to get used to that because she's going to be standing at the races all day. Because she's not the only one going to the races. Her mates will go to the races and she's got to wait till they've run before she goes home. She's got to stand on the truck. She's got to stand in the stables. So my job, it's easy to get a horse going. That's the easy part. Getting it to stand still and do nothing is the tough bit. So that's all we're going to do. I'm not going to push it today because she's been really good. She's starting to tell me at the moment that she's annoyed. I'm over this. I want to go and have a roll, have a drink of water because they've been in the yards all night. But I'm pretty pleased. Horace is sort of over everything. He's marching around and telling me he's ready to go now too, so see that biting? Just to click your fingers or stomp the ground or slap your leg. Yes. So there, she sort of likes me a bit more than she did when I arrived, so that's the main thing. We'll look at the chemtrails. Naughty. Look at that. What a naughty horse. Right, I'm going to give her something to do. She's getting bored. So that's first day with Michelle Obama, who I think is probably one of the best prospects as a racehorse that I've ever seen. I really got a good feeling about this horse. Oh, it's good to see horses so healthy and playing. Finding a trough there, they'll both be a bit thirsty. Have a drink. Good, clean water.